Today I got the guys going to pull this forward with the forklift, and then we're going to work on getting the engine off. Maybe we'll get to start and hang the jack plate today. We'll find out. Yeah, come on.
That other four.
Yeah.
Don't steer it, Mike.
All right. Come up. Up. Okay, come forward a little bit. Stop. Up. Up a little more. Just do a little tension check. Okay, leave it. Yeah. Should be good.
Is it going up or is it under?
Oh no, you gotta unbolt it all.
Yeah.
You guys gotta pull all the bolts out. Okay, I'll put it on this old blanket. You can put it on this old blanket, Ken.
Okay. Now, you got a piece of pipe on the shop there?
Yep. We did. Looks like somebody borrowed it and did not put it back, of course.
No.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I used to have like 3 of them, and now I have none. I have a short piece out in my truck. As Jack Sparrow says, it's all about the leverage.
Yeah. What size is it again? 3/4. 3/4? Yeah.
And what size is it?
3/4. 1/4. 3/4.
Where do you park the car?
In the Harvard yard.
No, where do you park the car at your house?
In the door yard.
Oh, jeez.
What's that?
Where do you pull a car in at your house?
Garage.
Yeah, you're trying to say it right. It's like having Mark Wahlberg around here.
Hey, if these hoses have them quick connects on them, do you want to duplicate that again so you don't have to take the fitting out of the boat, or what do you want to do with them?
Well,
So some of them have the push and pull quick connect.
I'd rather get rid of that.
So you're gonna have to take the whole fitting out, right?
Where?
These ends, I could see doing that, right? But up in here,
Yep.
the fitting's right in the.
Hey, and something else I want you to look for. See that cable, that black cable right there?
Yep.
Where does that go to?
That looks like the throttle cable. The old.
No. So that goes to this hoodicky right here, whatever this thing is. See that thing you just lifted up? And it's like a valve, and you must pull that thing and it must move it. And I got a feeling that I'm going to want to get rid of all that hodgepodge, because I'm not sure what that's
So this goes to that.
So
So
that
yeah,
is a,
that is that.
that is a valve. It probably is that probably moves water from.
Where's the It's not the fuel, is it? Fuel lines? No.
No, it's water.
It's water,
It's
yeah.
water for something.
Oh, look right from there, and you can see that fitting.
Yeah.
See the fitting that's in there? So you either, I don't know how you want to handle it, but
So this.
it
is
looks
my-
like you could take the hose and put a new quick connect on it. You guys don't have those crimp rings? Like you don't carry, you always use a hose clamp?
hose clamps.
Yeah, okay.
Crimp rings are not marine grade.
Well, they have them on all the boats, so I'm wondering why.
Well,
You have a ton of them everywhere.
on
So that's,
freshwater boats, we don't.
like those lines I put in yesterday. Put the hose clamp on there, but then you got the screw part of the hose clamp inside that. Remember you told me to
Yeah.
tape them up,
Yep.
but you know when that thing moves back and forth, it's not very.
What that's for, I'm pretty sure, is there must be one pump that you can use for saltwater washdown, or you can use to fill the live well, which is those 2 lines right there. You know, this boat's 2002 and they're 21 years old.
I mean, I don't care. I'll take out whatever you want.
Take 'em
I just
out.
want to know.
Take them out, make sure we label them, or so I can, or put them together, or somehow so I know where they go, and then we'll get new through hulls and put them in.
Oh, another thing real quick is that this side, oh no, that's metal, but I know in here it's like a plastic through hole. Do you want to replace that too?
What's the for?
Yeah, that one right there.
That's just a drain. So see where that drains to?
It goes into like tees off to a through hole back there with a valve, and then also a
I need your help. You guys know we're a small business and word of mouth is a big deal to us, but you could also help us by leaving us a review, of course a 5-star review, if we helped you out on any of your boat issues over the time we've been doing these videos. If you can just click on the link below and leave us a review, 5 stars of course. That will help us out with our online presence and help us grow. Thank you very much. Anything you can do helps. Appreciate it.
Would mix half of it. Once you mix it really well, let it cook. It tells you allowed to stand 15 minutes approximately at 70 degrees. Okay, and that's just so that it works, okay?
At a perfect 70, so.
Yeah, so let's take a look at what we've got over here. I just want to give you an idea of the spots to put the primer on, okay? Hey, full disclosure, this is not how you would want to do your bottom paint, okay? But our customer has asked us to do this, so we are going to do the best that we can with what we've got to make him happy. Yesterday, Ben was over here and he did a great job sanding, and so today we are here to spot prime the bigger areas where it shows the white because we cannot get the epoxy primer on the bottom paint. But the customer would like to add a little bit of the primer, and then we're going to put on 2 coats of paint. The real way to fix this boat would be to strip it all down and start again. But he didn't want to spend that much money on doing the bottom. So we're going to do as his wishes, do the best that we can with the bottom that we have. So like this kind of area, I would consider to be okay, but not this. I mean, these are too small because we're gonna end up getting the prime on the bottom paint.
What do you think about this corner edge right here?
I would be putting the primer here. And that's it. A quick sand here. It looks like it has some worms or whatever on it. Some of these are just too...
Yeah, so what do you, even in a spot like this, what do you think?
That's when I would be using the end of your little roller and psh, and that's it. I mean, that's all we can really do.
Yeah,
you know?
he said he pressure washed it before it came here, so he knocked all the big stuff off, all the flakes and stuff.
What I would do is I would get the sandpaper and sand away as much of this as I could and just make this area a little bit bigger, bare. If we get rid of all of this black area, let's use as an example, then we could have a little more surface to put primer, and then you're not going to be getting it on because the primer is not going to stick here. But we'll do what we can. The paint is just coming off. When you're taping, you need to make sure that it is extremely tight to the boat on this bottom part, okay? And then when you go to paint, I only want you to paint this way. I think AJ might have told you this on the last one, so that it keeps it smooth and nice on the side. If not, if you don't have it really secured to the boat, see how you have some air bubbles up here? I don't care about those, but this right here is really important, because if not, we're gonna get boogers and the paint is gonna go underneath it, which we definitely don't want.
That's why the creases are in there from me adjusting, because I went about every couple inches. I adjusted to make sure it went exactly along the paint line, so.
Cool. All right, well, you can see the guys are making great progress. Got all these old hoses out, putting all new hoses in, getting rid of some stuff that we don't need. Ken, where'd you put that crazy valve thing? So we're getting rid of this thing. I guess, yeah, it's a live well drain, and I don't know why we need something so complicated. It's got a big long wire that goes all the way to the helm. So we're putting this, we're filing that in the well, it's square file. Yeah. Yep. Bye-bye. So we'll just get a plug. How about that? Is that simple enough? Live well drain with a plug? Should work.
I think the original concept, because I had the same thing on my Polar. It was good for if you didn't have a pump, that you could just open it up, and once you got on plane, it would fill and circulate it for you. And then when you were done and coming home, you just hit the drain and then it'll go out.
Yeah, well, I have a live well pump, so we're going to use the live well pump with a drain plug in the bottom.
What are we doing with the fuel tank? Anything?
Nothing.
Just leaving it as is?
Yeah.
What about all the lines coming off it? Are you doing those or no?
Well, there should only be, what, one fill line, one vent line, and then one line coming up here to the up here.
Okay.
As long as it's clean and looks good.
Filler in there, or do you want to just do like an encapsulated peg and then glass it over?
There's Cavasil in there.
Okay.
So we'll take the epoxy, clean these out real good, take a drill and get at them. Which ones are we going to fill? All 4 of them? I don't know.
I got to get a template to see.
Oh, okay.
I was looking through it.
It's not in there?
I didn't see a template in there. I was just breezing through it.
Really? What's for lunch, AJ? Beef jerky. So I'm guessing that the previous owner was putting road gas in it, which has ethanol, corn alcohol in it. And believe it or not, when AJ pulled this off, this clear part is the inner liner that came out of there, and it actually was making the whole hose disintegrate. That's why if you're going to use road gas on old boats, you got to change the fuel hoses, because the old fuel hoses weren't compatible with ethanol alcohol, which is the corn alcohol that they add to the fuel. So yeah, you can see this one was disintegrating, so we are getting a new fuel hose.
Hey, what's one of your favorite bottom paints? Let me show you what I'm going to use today. We're going to be putting on this epoxy primer from Pettit Paint. I've been using it for years and years and love it. And then after that, this boat has a hard paint on it, so we're going to put on Pettit's Trinidad Pro. It's one of their top of the line for hard paint, and I believe that they have a 2-year warranty on it these days. Anyways, that's what I use. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys use normally for your bottom paint?
So what are we up to today, Chris?
We are on the center console here. A quick little backstory. So the customer stated that he was not receiving depth on his main display. So it came on, did a very normal thing, powered everything up. It has a GPS map going in here. We powered it up, and sure enough, there was no depth. The way that this system is set up, it's got the main display. It has a NEMA 2000 network, but that's for the GPS, the radio, and inputs from the engine. The depth itself is not a direct wire transducer. That normally comes with a pretty standard Garmin, Simrad kind of chart plotter. This is actually a through-hull transducer, an Airman, I forget how it's pronounced, but anyways. So that runs to a sonar module. Then that sonar module is what powers the transducer. And then that is actually wired in through what's called a marine network. So instead of using a pretty standard NEMA 2000, it actually uses just an Ethernet connection style where it goes from that module to the back of the main display up here. In troubleshooting it, the very first thing I did was try to bring up the marine network. It was not available, and it did not show a network. So it tells me one of two things. Either the sonar module is not getting power, or there's a fault in there, or there is an actual cable that went bad. So we ordered them new modules. With Garmin, in all things, anytime something gets about 10 years older or more than 10 years old, it tends to be out of date or not supported or something stupid like that. Or the most newest recent replacement usually has a different pinout or something. So we went from a GSD 22, because they no longer make those or sell them anymore, to a GSD 24. With this, we actually had to wire in an adapter. There we go. All right, so this is the actual transducer. This is a straight run all the way to back there. This has 6-pin, where the new one has an 8-pin. Here's where all the magic happens inside here. So this adapter, we had to use this because the existing sonar module was a GSD 22, and we went up to a GSD 24. So the GSD 24 uses an 8-pin, and this one only has a 6-pin. And this is where the sonars coming in this side. You just connect it to its correlating number, so it's color coded to whichever it is, right? So 1 and 2 is the depth, 3 and 4 is the shield and ground, 5 and 6 is temperature. This did not have an XID, but it did have speed, power, and speed. The only one that was missing is number 6, which is the XID. So we just wired that in, closed it up, and connected it. The marine network, once we tested it, the marine network came back up. Depth was showing on there. Now all we're gonna do today is finish up the install, which is remounting the GSD 24, because it is much larger than the GSD 22 and then it's about an extra 4 inches longer and wider. So it didn't fit in the original spot. So we had to make room for it, do some new wire runs for it, and that's what we're gonna do today. So yeah, just a little tidbit of information anytime you get a newer or replacement part for something, the way that they manufacture it or because they no longer support it, things end up changing. It's never just a simple swap. At least in my experience, it's never just a simple swap. But you can see the main differences, right? So the power cable is different. This is 2-pin, so that was 7-pin. So we had to run a new power cable. The network connection is still the same style, so we're able to reuse that cable because we know that it's good. But then the main thing was that transducer, because it was a through-hole permanent installation. If we were to change out that transducer to something else, it would have been a lot more lengthy, but we just simply put the adapter in there. This way we went from that 8-pin to 6-pin, or from 6-pin to 8-pin. So we're good to go. And then you can see the size difference.
Quite a significant size difference.
Yeah, especially if you're in a small boat or you don't have a whole lot of room to work with. That could be the difference between just slap it into place and then finding a whole new location to mount it. And finding a whole new location to mount usually comes with longer cable runs, different cable runs. And on top of that, whenever you go and do new cable runs, you have to deal with the existing rat's nest of wiring. So on top of the new wire runs and everything, we're gonna clean that up today.
Sounds good, can't wait.
Yeah.